Okay, so fun fact, I graduated high school in 2006, which is also the same year that the first High School Musical movie came out. Now, everyone knows it was a big deal at the time, but as someone who was right in the middle of it, let me tell you, it was huge. So it's actually really surprising that it took 13 years to get some kind of High School Musical series or whatever, especially with Glee coming out in 2009 and Victorious in 2010. I mean, the world was ready for it. But all the same, here we are in 2019, and now on Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, we finally get some kind of High School Musical continuation, sort of, with the very SEO-friendly High School Musical, the series. Yep, so let's check it out.
Sorry, car back.
All good. Right. First costume change.
No, okay, all right. 10 seconds in, I already know exactly what kind of show this is gonna be now. I mean, I knew, okay, we all knew, but now we know. The show starts right off on the first day of school after summer break, and we meet two of our main characters, Nene and Ricky. Now here's the thing, last year they were like a couple or whatever, but they broke up over the summer because Nene was going to a musical theater camp, and Ricky somehow got the idea that he could find someone better, which is big talk for a guy who wears a jean jacket over a hoodie in the middle of August.
Nene was going to theater camp, and not to brag, but I'm not exactly intimidated by guys who voluntarily wear tights.
I didn't want to take a pause. It was only for a month. We could have FaceTimed every day.
I mean, fine. Did I hang out with a couple girls this summer? Possibly.
And by hang out, do I actually mean they just worked at Starbucks and smiled at me when they handed over my coffee? Yes, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so Ricky wants to get back with Nene now that she's back from her camp thing, but there's just maybe sort of kind of one little problem with that.
Hey.
Hey. I met somebody else at camp.
That's right, wouldn't you know, Nene met some new guy at that summer camp, and we all know how that turned out for Amy Juergens over here now, don't we? So, where's this show going? Now, here's where we get a look into what their relationship was like before all this stuff happened. On their 1-year anniversary, Nene uploaded a video of herself singing a song to Ricky, and at the end, she said those 3 little words you say when your relationship's getting kind of serious, you know? But shockingly, Ricky didn't say it back. In fact, literally, the next thing he says is this.
Maybe we should just, like, chill for a minute. You know, like take a temporary pause.
So, you know, just a real stand-up guy. I mean, way to read the room, buddy. And so now, after all this setup, the show finally gets going with the first assembly of the new school year.
My name is Miss Jen. And when I heard that the high school where High School Musical was shot had never staged a production of High School Musical, the musical, I was shocked as an actress, inspired as a director, and triggered as a millennial.
You know, not to brag or anything, but I've seen every episode of Glee, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and Riverdale, so I was pretty sure I could handle anything, but like, I mean, this is starting to get a little painful here. But yeah, so this is Miss Jen, and she's the new drama teacher in town trying to relive the good old days when Disney Channel movies were actually kind of watchable. And this part also lays out the whole shtick of the show. A new drama teacher comes to the school where the High School Musical movies were filmed and wants to put on the musical version of High School Musical, hence why we're stuck with this title. And of course, all the theater kids are acting like theater kids about it.
As the school's resident High School Musical historian, I basically have zero chill about this right now. I've seen the original movie 37 times, and the first 15 minutes of both sequels.
Okay, just hold on 1 second here. Both sequels? Excuse me, are you forgetting the direct-to-DVD seminal masterpiece, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure? Ha! Call yourself a High School Musical fan, get out of here. So later that day, at lunch, we find Nene with her new boyfriend and her designated sassy black friend talking about auditioning for the new musical.
Okay, so crazy idea. What if we went in costume to the auditions tomorrow?
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, whatever you wear, I'm doing your makeup.
So I was thinking like a basketball jersey for me, and then for my leading lady, it is time to go full V-Hudge.
V-Hudge? Okay, now I don't know if this is just a case of the show being written by people in their 40s, or if this is actually how kids talk nowadays, but either way. Anyway, so Nene and her new boyfriend EJ are just being like way too excited about everything, but of course Ricky over here is getting all upsetty spaghetti about it, so he comes up with this idea of how to get Nene back, which I'm pretty sure you've already figured out, but whatever.
She has to see me in a whole new light.
But we hate musicals.
Okay, look, I'm auditioning for this thing tomorrow, and nothing is gonna stop me.
Do you even know the plot of High School Musical?
Of course. It's about Zac Efron dancing with a basketball.
Yeah, so his master plan is if he auditions for the musical and gets the part of Troy, then somehow this is gonna make Nene get all and hopefully break up with the guy who looks like he only comes to life when Andy leaves the room. But this whole idea is just kind of funny to me because, like, I also did musicals and show choir to try and, like, impress girls or whatever. But, you know, turns out when you're a guy who's really into theater, they start to get the wrong idea. Anyway, so now it's finally time for the auditions.
I'd love you to read for Ryan. You are giving Major Taylor vibes. You're probably a Chad. You're giving me uncommon depth. Miss Darvis?
I'm dying. I'm deceased, yes.
Why do you say it like that?
I'm dying. I'm deceased.
I mean, is this a cry for help? So the auditions continue on, and we get to hear snippets of all our favorite High School Musical songs, which I'm not going to play for you, because if I did... Now, at the end of this, it's finally Nini's turn to audition for Gabriella.
Okay, Nini, whenever you're ready.
Am I too late? Am I too late?
We're all set on Troy's. We're low on Chad's. You can read after the Gabriellas.
I only studied the Troy scenes in the movie.
Troy would have arrived on time.
Okay, well, that's just demonstrably untrue. You know, I'm starting to think you've never actually even seen High School Musical before. I'm telling you, this kid's just bamboozling everybody. But yeah, so Nini sings one of Gabriella's songs from the movie, and everyone's like, wow. And then, for the final audition, it's Ricky's turn. So he does that thing where he starts reading lines from the movie, but then turns it around so everything is kind of sort of about Nini, you know?
I don't get it, Troy. What kind of spell is this elevated IQ temptress girl cast that suddenly makes you want to be in a musical? I don't know. Maybe it's the way Gabriella always had your back. And maybe you can't stop.
I just love Nini's face through this entire scene. She's just like, okay, how much pine salt do I have to drink to put myself in a coma? And then, to top it all off, Ricky starts singing the same song Nini sang for him earlier in the episode, and she is really not having this. So after this is all over, she goes up to Ricky in the hallway, just like, hey man, what the yuck?
What are you doing here?
I'm auditioning.
You hate musicals.
That was the old me. The new me thinks musicals are awesome.
Oh, so now you're a musical theater fan, huh? Pfft, all right, explain the plot of Cats. Ha, trick question, nobody can. And then at the very end, we find out the results of who is going to play whom in High School Musical, the musical, in High School Musical, the musical, the series, the video game, the ride, the gummy vitamin. And I mean, if you haven't already figured out how the show's gonna go, I don't know what to tell you. But you know, I gotta say, hearing the High School Musical song, seeing the kids doing auditions and all that, honestly, it does kind of make me feel a little nostalgic for a time when I had this much energy at 8:30 in the morning, or like, ever. And after watching as many of these shows as I have, I think the funniest thing is just how they're clearly written by people who get all their teen slang knowledge from like the local news.
I'm dying. I'm deceased.
Hashtag ultimate comeback.
It's also kind of weird, at least to me, how they just made Glee with like the Office mockumentary style, but only sometimes? Like throughout the episode, characters will look at the camera or be interviewed by someone, I assume. But then the show does all these like flashbacks or whatever. I mean, who's filming this? What documentary crew was just like hanging out in Nini's bedroom? That being said, I'm probably just gonna end up watching the whole thing anyway because, you know, that's my life now, I guess. You know, it is kind of weird to have like High School Musical something now after like I said, you know, 13 years after the first movie came out. Because like I mentioned in the video, there was this period of time right after the third movie when just like everyone was making musical everything. You had Victorious, you had Glee. Although I guess I can see the point of view of like after doing 3 movies, maybe you should kind of let it sit for a while. But still, letting it sit for 11 years when musical movies are still kind of big now, right? You got Descendants, you got the Camp Rock, you got Lemonade Mouth. It's like there's a lot of musical stuff. There's still a lot of musical stuff. And so it's interesting to bring it back, but I think the weirdest part, they didn't just bring back High School Musical like the idea. They literally just brought back High School Musical as an excuse to just do all the same songs again. But I think it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting idea how they went back to the old high school, but in the real world, and then they're putting on the High School Musical, not in the High School Musical world. It's weird. Like, I mean, I'm sure there were many, you know, meetings about how they're going to do this, and I wonder why they came up with this idea, because it's so bizarre, I feel like. Like, I feel like you could have kept going in the world of High School Musical. You could have brought back some of the old characters. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could have done. Or you could have just come up with a whole new everything and then just called it High School Musical for the branding purposes. I don't know. It's like they get to do High School Musical all over again, literally. You know, like this is, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see where, you know, we'll see where the show goes, I guess. But it's such a such a really on-the-nose way of doing High School Musical again, you know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Follow my dog Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. My wife posts there sometimes, I guess. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what's your favorite part of the video or what movie I should do next, or just say hi. That's fine too. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.